Hey, this is Blake Sloan. I've been selling real estate over 14 years, and our team of highly trained professionals, along with our unmatched marketing, has sold thousands of homes here in the Myrtle Beach area, and this is how we do it.
I'm setting around the expectations around me. I'm setting the frame around what's happening with me and my family. But really, it comes down to what we talked about last week with the story. And this is something that's important. And this kind of came from my stack, my most recent stack. But it basically says, the more I focus on those things in which I cannot control, the more it takes away the attention from away from those things in which I can. Right. And that's something that's super important to think about, because there's so many times, even me, for example, getting sucked into that, the governor's thing yesterday. Guess what? That's shit I can't control. That's taking my focus and my energy away from what I can control, right? And how I show up here, and it was taking me away from even showing up here with Kaylee and how I show up there. But more importantly, I wasn't present, triggered about certain things. And so the reality is, all that energy that can be used for what I can control, specifically how I'm showing up in the present moment to myself, to my business, to my family, to my clients, as being taken away and controlled by things that I actually cannot control, which obviously is a big concern, right? And so the one thing that I can do to kind of help myself and really kind of look at is, I want myself to kind of create daily. And this does not happen on, especially in this time, you got to take time to create this. I got to be able to create space for myself daily, right? Meaning that I create this wall around me that's allowed me to kind of create. For me, it's when I run in the mornings. For me, it's when I do my stacks, through some meditations, right? It has to do with creating space so I can make sure I'm only hearing what's most important. It can be called the voice, be God, be whatever it is. But if I'm if I'm allowing venom of fear, everything else to get past this wall, what's happening for me is that, guess what happens in my space in my real estate? It gets shit on, right? And we allow ourselves to get through that by really kind of breaking down what do we allow through this barrier of our space within our head, right? It's the most valuable real estate we got. And the only thing that I can control are my actions and my thoughts. That's it, right? My actions and my thoughts. And really, in my opinion, your thoughts are going to drive your actions, right? So you probably put that first. But number one, I can control my thoughts and I can control my actions. Now, here's the crazy part. It's really hard right now. It takes a lot more discipline to stop and pause and really look at that in regards to what I want to do, right? But that's the one thing that you run into. And I was kind of talking to a coaching yesterday. We're talking to a doctor, ER doctor. He's talking about examples of a lot of long-term doctors have been doing this for 20, 30 years. Guess what's happening to them right now? They're blinded. They're questioning their skill sets. They're questioning their beliefs. They're in there paralyzed with fear because they've never seen anything like that. And they're obviously doing the same thing. Most people around us are doing the same exact thing. So you want to be weaponized in a place that you're able to, one, know and understand what my natural skill sets are, believe in what my natural skill sets are, I'm able to push through, right? And I control how I show up. Am I showing up? And here's one thing I want you to take from what I was trying to get at. The question is, am I showing up with my skill sets and my mindsets weaponized for battle? That's all that matters, right? Am I showing up with two things? My skill sets and my mindsets. What was the next thing I said?
Weaponized for battle.
Weaponized for battle. I want you guys to take that part. Am I showing up weaponized for battle, both in my mindsets and my skill sets? Now, here's the problem. A lot of times people do one, but not the other. I got to be able to have both of those every single day, weaponized for battle. Now, here's the problem. Here's what you're seeing right now. A lot of times, most people, myself included, sometimes wake up in a chaos, right? A panic, a fear of what's going on, what's happening. And so we have to do the work on ourselves, both feeding through some positivity through audiobooks or podcasts or positive YouTube stuff or stacks to help get control of that chaos and weaponize myself. That's also done through Core 4. We talked about that, through working out, having the discipline to do so, of doing that, right? Every morning right now, I'm telling you, I hate running, but I do it every morning, and I'm watching the clock, trying to beat my time. I try to stay underneath 7 minutes, 40-second pace as I run, no matter what. And as I want to stop, get what I do. I keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. to allow myself to keep going is building the discipline in my mind so that when I have to do some shit at 2:30 in the afternoon, I don't want to do it. Guess what I already built up? I already built up the discipline for me to get through and push through that, because it all started on the morning run when I didn't want to do those things, where I wanted to stop and walk for a minute instead of pushing all the way through. And that's one thing I want you guys to look at is am I weaponized in this regard? But the reality is, you get my point, right? The question is, am I showing up, right, with my mindsets and my skill sets weaponized for battle? Because most people around us right now are not equipped to handle what's going on around them. Specifically, people you know, your friends, your family, whatever it is. The good thing is you all are. Wow, we spent hundreds and hundreds of hours training on this, training on the ability to control our mindset, building your skill sets, building your mindsets, building your skill sets, building your mindsets. And how you show up right now, for example, there's still people buying. Barrett's example, dude flies in, dude's looking to buy something, we're finding our clients places. And the reality is, guess what? That's how winners show up, and that's how people show up. And so the one more thing I want to talk about is just kind of going on top of this is like, where does that panic come from? It really comes from when people are kind of stuck in this place of uncertainty, right? Why is that? Why do you think? Give me something.
Say that again, please.
Because we never experienced anything like this.
Yeah, people
Right?
are.
A lot of people,
There's no
people are
guidance.
getting to this level of panic, right, based on uncertainty. But the reality is, only have you consider why that is most of them, and they're saying that the mindset is really, I can't see what to do next, right? They don't know what's going to happen next. I don't really know what to do next. And so that's the one thing you run into. Yep. And so what happens, right? The uncertainty sets in when I'm not clear, where I can't see what to do next. And how we battle that, right, is we have to be super, super clear in what our attack plan is daily, right? And what our attack plan is for ourselves, our attack plan is for our personal habits, also for our work habits. But what happens here is both of these lead to panic. And for me, I see that happen when there's space that's not really accounted for, right? And what's happening is everyone's going to kind of experience that as we go through, is you have this overall panic. And here's the thing I want you guys to think about. Panic, being scared, all that is okay, right? We're all going to feel that in some way, in some level. But what's not okay is staying there, right? It's okay to be in panic. It's okay to think about that, to have some fears, because there's going to have to be that moves you. The problem is, and where the challenge is, you can't stay there and panic, right? The key is, I got to figure out what. I just kind of gave that part away, but I got to figure out what's going to happen next. What do I do next? What's my action plan next? Because what you're going to have here, and you kind of draw it out, is you're going to have two main things, right? You're going to have two main things. You're going to have one side, we have panic.